Joined by Frightened Rabbit, it's Oxegen 2010 Friday, and the brothers Hutchison. We've got Scott and Grant. Thanks so much for coming in.
No problem. Thank
And
you.
very patiently. Already, the first thing that you have to go to is the beautiful art on your arms.
Yep, there you go. That
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Oh yeah, the taxi driver made that joke.
I know it's not new.
No, I know. It's actually the chemical makeup for my steroid cream for my eczema. So it's nothing very rock and roll.
Is it really?
He was hoping by doing so that he would be able to rid himself of eczema forever.
Well, yeah, I've got
by constantly having it on his skin.
It's there, so I figured surely I don't need to use the cream anymore.
Did it work?
You're
Did it? No.
eczema free.
No, he's not.
No?
On that section of my arm, there,
Aw.
yes.
Anyway.
Well, it looks awesome. And what about the other one?
Oh, this was our label called Hits the Fan that we released our very first record on, called Sing the Greys. It was actually designed by Scott.
Yeah, I drew that.
Yeah.
Did you really?
I didn't do it on his arm, but I drew the original
cool.
drawing. Yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thinking.
am I right in thinking Big Brother? Younger brother? No, or are you twins?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, okay.
He's younger.
So, Big Brother artist, and you aware of art?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I can't really draw, so it wouldn't be much good if I cover myself in my own art.
No, and I don't want you to do me
Well-
a tattoo. So that's
Dermatology tattoo is a first for me, so I'm impressed. I like it when things shake up a little bit. Now, the other thing I have to immediately remark on is the very fresh-faced, clean haircut. You've had
thank you
your
very much. How
ears
did
lowered.
you know?
Somebody tipped me off, a little birdie. But actually, it's clearly quite clean above the ears.
Well, first of all, just getting a shampoo is quite enough for me. Like I don't usually do that. So
It was pretty pampered sort of feeling today. We felt like a proper band.
yeah, no, I had a lovely time. Yeah.
It actually just happened right here in Dublin. All right, well, in Punchestown,
Across,
right
no,
across
across,
the way.
they're
The
doing
artist.
Wow.
they're doing free haircuts, and free stuff
Free
is
stuff.
our favorite kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
actually, all 5 members of Frightened Rabbit and our sound guy got haircuts today.
So far, so good. Ireland's doing
really
well.
good. It's going great. We're not even going to play the show. It's just we've got quite enough. It's
We've been
fine.
paid, I think, already.
You're
so-
afraid you're afraid it'll go downhill from here. Now, it's not the first time you're in Ireland, not by a long shot. You were touring with Modest Mouse, and the last time I saw you was actually for the Hard Working Class Heroes.
Yeah.
That was 2008.
Right. I think it was in sort of end of the summer. Was it? It
It was
was.
a packed out, yeah. It was. They've moved the time of year for it, but it was a
Yeah.
packed out Andrews Lane Theatre in Dublin.
It was
and
lovely.
It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we'd actually had a bit of a nightmare that day. None of our gear didn't come on the same plane, the same flight as us, and that was the only flight to Dublin that day.
It's funny, we used these MIDI pedals for some of our bass sounds, and the final person that someone we knew was going to get in touch with was the guy who deals with all the edges stuff. And we couldn't even get it off the edge.
He's the
So we
only
had to
person
go. We had to
around.
go without one of our basic pieces of equipment. But yeah, he was
Pretty
our
high
last port of
profile
call. He's not ours, I don't. But yeah.
And I mean, that was for Hard Working Class Heroes. That was at the end of the Midnight Oregon fight, wasn't it?
True,
that was
yeah.
that tour.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we're very happily into the winter of mixed drinks, which is just fantastic.
Oh, thanks very much.
That's gone really well for you guys. Radio's really responded to it.
That's excellent to hear. I'm glad. You know.
It's. I mean, I think we sort of felt that when it was written that it was, just the content and the production on it. Radio could probably pick it up a lot easier.
We didn't do it on purpose.
No, it wasn't a purposeful thing, but it was just the like say the content of the album wasn't quite as raw and there are less swear words.
Well, there's a
difficult.
certain
It's
song
difficult.
that Miss Jenny Green from 2FM, our colleague who you might meet on the way out, Keep Yourself Warm.
Oh, aye.
There's a bit of lyrical content in that
Love
she
it.
wasn't able to play on air, but she does love that song, so
I know,
I needed to
it's
pass it on
difficult.
for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. So she wanted to know the inspiration for that.
Well, I tell you this. No, do you actually want to know?
I do.
It's not me.
I know. I genuinely do want to know. And
And
feel
these
free
guys,
to
these
feel free to
guys,
hint.
the guys who are actually involved in the song, they won't be. They live over in Scotland, so they won't see this ever. But I was living with 2 guys. Okay, one of whom would stay in his room all day, i.e., kind of that metaphorical hole in
Yes.
which he was, and the other guy would go out to nightclubs and bring girls home a lot. And neither of them seemed particularly happy with their associated
Holes.
And it was not about me because I was actually pretty happy in a relationship at the time, and so it was really about these 2 guys, neither of whom were happy, but just my observation of their life.
That's a really good answer, Scott.
Thank
I
you.
did not actually know that. So
Dean and Larry.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I've told
Okay,
them
that's
actually.
great.
They know. They both know.
So it's I didn't, and it never occurred to me that there was sort of an intellectual whole as well. So that's great.
There's many types. There's so many.
I love it. Now, one of my favorite videos of last year was All the Torches. That was gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Well,
That
really.
was Swim until you can't see
Until
land.
you can't see
wasn't
land.
it? It was,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just
That,
thinking,
that guy did a great job. Really, we had such a tiny budget for the video, we couldn't really afford lights. So we asked everyone to bring their own torches in and light it.
Torches. It was.
No, they had to bring their own. If you didn't bring your own torch, you couldn't be in the video. So that was the initiation into the extras part of the video. But yeah, I think it worked beautifully. It really did.
and it kind of makes you think about festivals. You know, we're at Oxegen. There's lots of people camping. It's certainly not sunny, and I don't know if a torch would help with the grey skies. But the whole idea of sort of campfire feel, it really had that kind of warmth.
No, it was actually a really nice day as well, just to go and do that. And it was kind of fans that were involved in it as well. So it's always nice to have people that are actually excited about your music to be in your videos as well.
And what kind of relationship do you try to keep up when you're on the road? Because you guys, you're getting busier and busier with all your touring, and I know you've got some sexy dates coming up. Lollapalooza.
That's quite a
Very
sexy
cool.
one.
It is. Like
Hanging out with Lady Gaga.
she's playing
Gaga.
Lollapalooza. I always think of it as being like the old, like the Beastie Boys and Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's
Well,
Addiction, the sort of 90s rock bands.
Soundgarden are
they?
reforming for it.
I'm really excited
Pavement,
about that.
usually.
Really good, yeah. But
They're doing all of them, aren't they? Are they not doing-
Pixies, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how Gaga's sneaked in there. Some people seem, I don't know why she seems to be looked upon as cool.
I think she's a guilty pleasure for most of the
Sure.
rock and rollers,
Gordon, who's in our band, who's going to be doing the session right next, and he's just a huge Gaga fan with not even a hint of tongue in cheek.
No.
Like he's just
Not a guilty pleasure.
You cannot say a word against Gaga or fear the wrath of Gordon.
Listening right now and cursing.
There might be a reason for that, though. Last Oxygen, I wanted to see what all the fuss was about for Lady Gaga, and they're not countrymen of yours per se, but Stereophonics were down the side, and I was surprised. I was like, why are the Stereophonics watching, Lady Gaga? And I was curious, and then all of a sudden, cameraman, and she turns around, and it was just ass shots the whole time. And I'm a girl, I'm not interested, but you could bounce quarters off it, so I think that might be part of it. Yeah. So ask Gordon.
She had the sparks coming out.
Exploding tits, I think they're called.
Yeah, she had some of them. I don't know if she had them at Oxygen. She had them at Tea in the Park anyway.
A different kind of bootylicious, I think.
Yes.
Her and Beyonce could have a booty shake off.
Just trying to up Madonna with her cones. Just get sparks coming out of it.
So
when it comes to the fans and getting them to do videos and things like that, when you're on the road, are you Twitter mad?
we do like to do a bit of tweeting. I mean, it seems to be a really nice way of getting everyone involved in what you're doing as well, because we're not really kind of one of those bands that likes to, have a distance between the audience and ourselves. I think it's more of a collaborative effort, especially shows as well. We're relying on them as much as they rely on us to play songs. We rely on them, and so that extends beyond just live music, and I think it's just nice, and everyone likes to feel part of what you're doing.
But also for you guys, it's been a nice organic build. You're really in that 2-year cycle, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's been really steady. I don't think I can pinpoint a particular point where everything just went rocketing, and it still hasn't, which I'm really happy with, actually.
It's good though, isn't it?
It's great. I'm really happy. I'm saying it's not a complaint. I don't.
No,
really,
I just without being.
Well,
It's a really beautiful album though, and people have really warmed to it. And anybody who hears it goes, "Wow!" You do have a really unique voice, and I think in Ireland particularly, there's a bit of love. I don't know if it's the sort of the Celtic spirit or something like that, but I've never met an Irish person who didn't like a Scotsman.
We've actually before anyone listened to our music, we came over to Ireland. With the first tours we ever did.
Our first ever tour was in Ireland. Yeah, it was like just pubs, little pubs. Went over to Dingle, did Thomastown, all sorts of places, and it was just where anyone would have us. And it was just one of those things where we've got such fond memories of this country.
And when are you coming back to do your own thing? I know you're here right now, and that's fantastic, and you're going to do a song for us, which I'm delighted about. But will you do an autumn tour, or are you going to take a break?
No, we're doing one, and there's no...
And there doesn't seem to be an Irish date there.
I really hope he's holding off.
Yeah, there will be. There'll be something added because it you know, it comes. The last show we have on that tour is the Barrowlands in Glasgow, and
You're based in Glasgow now, aren't you?
He is.
Okay.
Glasgow, Edinburgh, but yeah, but I mean Glasgow's kind of where the band formed. So to
Okay.
play the Barrowlands for us is a really big thing. I've seen.
If they don't book us a show in Dublin, then we'll just come over anyway and
We'll
play
make it
wherever
happen.
they'll have us.
No, we can definitely make it
Alright.
happen, no problem at all. Are you going to do Living in Colour, the new single?
Yes.
Excellent. It was such a pleasure to meet you guys,
Thank you.
Scott and Grant, and I
Yeah.
know Gordon's outside,
Yes.
so thank you so much. Frightened
Thank you.
Rabbit.
Cheers.